Incidentally, our previous I want to set the record straight. Our previous argument about the iPhone and multiple models was before the iPhone 5 and which had multiple models. Our argument was about the iPhone 4S, which was one model.
No, I don't think so.
We can go back and look at the fucking date.
say the fucking iPhone 5 isn't out yet.
He does
Right,
say
because
5.
it was after the iPhone 4. We were speculating about what the device that would be the iPhone 4S.
Here was the whole thing about that
We
argument.
can look at the date.
Here's the whole thing about that argument.
The whole thing about the argument was you were wrong.
Nope. The whole thing about the argument was that I was saying most of the information when it comes out, when it's leaked, is true. And you said, no, that's not true. Not all the information that comes out is true. And I said, well, give me an example that was. You said, well, they leaked 2 versions of the iPhone 5. And so you're trying to prove my point wrong about something that wasn't out yet. You were trying to say, like, this is a definite thing that was wrong, even though it wasn't out yet. That was my whole point. We lost Gavin.
Gavin and Barbara were trying to eject from the conversation.
I don't
Gavin
blame
went
you.
too far.
I don't blame you. That was the whole thing. That was the whole thing.
Oh.
We got into this the other day with the whole senses argument, which, by the way, Twitter went apeshit about the whole 5 senses thing, or 30 senses, or whatever.
God.
They went crazy about it.
Yeah. Welcome back.
It's basically, the whole thing I was saying about that is that senses are not a definitive class. It's like when you say that something is a sense. I know, it's so crazy, but it's like everyone, it's like,
solid third week in a row we're going for this.
And then
they're driving me crazy about it.
And then fucking like Uberfacts or one of those goddamn accounts tweeted something
they
about
fucking
it.
mind our podcast.
They fucking mind for
because they bring up the honey
information.
thing all the time
Right.
too. And I get tweeted this Uber facts like, look, it's true because a fucking Twitter account called Uber
Those fuckers tweet shit that's wrong all the goddamn time.
All urban legends and all that
I
stuff.
want to make a parody Twitter account that's like mega super facts.
Yeah.
And just start saying shit that proves me right all the time.
Right.
And have people retweet
Just
that.
facts.
You should absolutely do that.
Yeah.
And it's just put the word fact in it, and then it's absolutely
It's
true.
like, oh, it's true. I read it. It said fact on the internet.
Yeah. But the whole thing is like, it's like, when I go back to the census thing with you, Gavin, is that I totally acknowledge you say that we feel different things, and we say that we can feel gravity. If you want to say it's a different photoreceptor or a different receptor that feels gravity in your body, it's a different neuroreceptor that does it. Okay, great. Then that means I have 1,000 senses of smell, and I also have 5 senses of taste, and I have 2 senses of vision. Why do we draw lines in one place but not the other? That's all I'm saying, is that it's an arbitrary distinction of what a sense is and what a sense isn't. Because you have 2 different photoreceptors in your eyes for rods and cones, color vision, and night vision, black and white vision. But you only have 1 sense of vision, right? Vision is 1 sense. You don't have 2 senses of vision. He doesn't want. I don't blame him. He doesn't want to get into it. He doesn't want to get into it.
Look, what is this?
I felt you touch me.
You felt it.
I felt you touch me.
Is that a sense of feel?
But you're constantly feeling what way up you are. If you were hanging upside down,
Because gravity-
nothing would be impacting on your body.
You applied a force to me, and I felt the force. This is what I'm saying. You applied the force to me, and I felt the force. The Earth is constantly applying a force to me, and that's how I feel it, because it's constantly applying the force. And so I feel that. I feel that pulling on me.
Use
That's
the
what I'm saying.
force, Earth.
And I get it. You're saying feeling temperature is a different sense. So then why isn't the sense of cold different than the sense of heat? Or if we
You
get more
can't
accurate,
see heat.
what does that mean? See heat.
You can
What does
see
that mean?
cold?
You can't see how hot something is from across the room.
But you're saying sense of temperature is an actual sense.
What
that
if-
you can feel temperature.
What if something's glowing hot? Then
But
you can see how hot it is.
why would the distinction between feeling something's hot and feeling something cold is not 2 different
This
things?
whole discussion is stupid, Gavin.
It is a
Welcome
stupid
to the
discussion.
discussion.
It is a dumb discussion.
It's all about like semantics and like exceptions to rules.
So I will simply say, I retract my previous statements. I was wrong.
What do you think you're
there
saying?
are 5,000 senses. I'm now going beyond all of you. There are 45,000 senses.
You have to think interdimensionally.
Vowels are a sense.
What, the one for like second dimension?
Yeah, 3rd dimension, 4th dimension, 5th dimension.
What do you think you're going to say about it next week, do you think?
What? I don't know.
10,000 senses.
Listen, I'm gonna. There's been times where I
Here's
wanted.
what I like about this.
Go ahead.
I can just drop a subject, cause a little stir,
He's amazing.
and walk away, and then you have to deal with it for 3 weeks.
Gavin is the most subtle troll, because I do want to go back to this, because he brought up the whole, like, there's, like, for instance, that we all know there's not 5 senses, and you and I were like, what are you talking about, Gavin? You know what you're talking about. But there's Uberfacts going, doodly-dee-dee-dee. Gavin is right.
Do you run Uberfacts?
So here's the thing. What was Gavin's original point? Because Gavin brought that up completely unsolicited, that there's 5 senses. Where were you going with that?
Right, there's an art to podcasting. Right?
There is. He literally had no point. He just wanted to
trick-
bring up something we
The
would.
trick is making it look easy and natural.
So you're a consummate professional.
I'll just, I'll hear some things, I'll read some things, and be like, I'll wait for a good time to bring it up, slip it in, step back and enjoy.
That's exactly
the rewards.
It was masterful.
That
If
is
you go
sex.
back and look
It's
at
like
it.
sex.
The audience can also reap with me.
Good one, Gus.
Like if
Slip it
we
in and
literally just
step
said to
back.
Gavin at that point in time, we just stopped and go, that's interesting. Gavin would have had nothing after that.
Yeah.
Nothing.
That should be our new approach.
Yeah.
Everything
Oh,
Gavin
really?
brings up.
He's the dude
Tell me
like
more.
starts a
Fascinating.
forest fire, but he's got the match, and
Yeah.
you just next time we're just gonna watch it burn to his own fingers. And like,
Say the word fire
why are you bringing
around
this up,
Gus.
Gavin?
There was that
remember he
app
used to just
for a
take it and go,
while.
whoosh.
It was on the iOS App Store. It got removed, but I think you still get it on the Google Play Store. It's called Send Me to Heaven, where it's a game you can download, and it measures how high you throw your phone, and you get a high score based on how high it
That
goes in
sounds
the air.
horrible.
How does it measure that? Like,
Apple
It
makes
uses the
it-
accelerometer.
how long this accelerometer is in free
I guess
fall?
so. It's basically just a game where you try to throw your phone as high in the air as you can and catch it.
That's brilliant.
And they took that down.
You can't get it on the iOS, on the App Store anymore, but you can still get, if you have an Android phone, you can
Why?
still
They
get
should
it.
leave that in. They'd make a fortune.
They would. They should buy the company and make it like on the dashboard.
Yeah.
They should make it
It's
part
like
of the
In the
pre-installed.
passport.
They should
Yeah.
say if you can throw it 1,000 meters, you get a free one. You get like
You
a
throw
free-
a phone a fucking 1,000 meters in the air.
A lot of people would try. They'd be like catapulting it and
Did you ever,
trebuchets.
when you were growing up, did you ever have kids that tell you stuff that you just like was stupid, but you believed it anyway?
I'm
Yeah.
sure.
yeah, like you can cut a worm in half and it'll be 2 worms.
It will be.
I never had to look that up to
2
find out
dead
if it was
worms.
real. I was just like 16 one day and I was like, well, there's no way that was true.
Like, you're talking about an earthworm.
Yeah.
Because there is a worm that does that.
What
Yeah.
worm?
A planarian worm.
Plat-
Planarian. It's like
Planarian.
it's a little arrow-shaped worm. It's tiny little microscopic things. And you cut it. It's a biology experiment. You cut them in half and then they go. They're just little bitty. They're not microscopic, but they're just tiny.
Mitosis is.
Meiosis and mitosis.
What were we talking about? I felt like we were going somewhere with that.
Throwing your phone in the
Of
air?
your dreams?
Yeah, I would like to get an app where you can skip it on water like a stone. How far it'll go, like that.
There are so many dumb
That's a
apps.
planarian right there.
Um,
You ever seen a planarian before?
No.
No,
It's
okay.
like a tiny
Yeah, look
slug.
at that. It looks so familiar.
It's a non-parasitic flatworm. It's also a
And-
common name for a member of the genus Planaria.
So what makes it live twice?
What's that?
What makes it happen?
It just grows back.
What
and,
makes
like,
it live
grows back.
twice?
do starfish also do that?
Starfish, they will grow out from the core. Like
Okay.
you can cut off all the legs of a starfish, and they will grow back.
Starship.
Starship.
But
Jefferson starfish.
the leg of a starfish will not grow corn.
Yes, you won't end
Oh,
up
there's a flipodecadecon. Was it?
planarian. I don't think that's a planarian though. The thing they're showing us.
It looks like a hammerhead worm.
The
It
diagrams.
does look like a hammerhead worm.
Planaria can be cut into pieces, and each piece can regenerate into a complete organism.
Whoa.
Oh, that's
So
crazy.
why did
Do you
do
know they
that?
cut off your arm and like then you have another Gus? You have to go find it and kill it.
Yeah,
Another
absolutely.
Gus.
I would burn that fucking arm. Like
So
that
why
shit's
don't-
not coming back.
Why do those worms just eat themselves in half a lot?
Why don't they eat themselves?
Why don't
in
they do
half
if
a
they
lot?
if they can be 5 worms? Why don't they just cut the crap out of themselves?
If you could reproduce or regenerate like that, would you eat yourself in half a lot? Would you do that?
Why they can't get a knife and cut themselves in half? I'm trying to think of how they would get themselves in half.
If you had the ability to cut yourself down the middle and make 2 Gavins,
Yeah, you're like, I'm
would
really
you do
hungry,
it?
but I don't want to go to lunch.
I-
I'm just gonna cut my leg off
My
and eat
favorite
that.
part of that question is a lot.
Eat yourself in half a lot.
A lot.
All the time.
Not just once, just every.
Well, I ate myself
Why
in
you
half
said
for
you did it 5
lunch,
times?
but it's dinner, so I'll eat myself in half
Yeah.
again.
I don't want to have the same thing again for dinner.
I'm asking you a question. I'm not letting you out of this. If you could eat yourself in half, I think you said it. I
Why
don't even
would
know
I
what it
do
means.
it? I'm not an animal trying to
You're
make
the
more.
one who said it.
They're
I'm
not,
already a
they're not
human.
trying to
I've
make
already-
more of themselves.
I'm
are they?
already a human.
It's not like a planarian trying to become a human by eating itself in half a lot.
All animals do. The only
Levels up.
job of every animal on the planet is to make another one of itself.
I
That's
think you're
all
saying to
animals
become a
do.
human.
No,
Produce?
I don't have to do that. I'm a human. All right, I can choose. But a worm has to make more worms.
I don't understand the distinction. I'm
What are you
asking
on
you
about?
a question
I
as the
think
human.
he's trying to say that it's like a form of reproduction for them.
Yeah, we've got to a point where we don't have to reproduce. The damn world's overpopulated.
Oh, you're saying
anyway.
they're driven by like some kind of
Humans
reproductive?
won the planet. Humans ruined and won this one.
It's pretty bad.
So I don't have to reproduce. A worm and a bird, they have to reproduce.
I went and I got the pizza. I met the delivery guy outside. when
where
our
is
pizza
it?
showed up for the podcast. It's here next door.
Eastside Pies?
And yeah,
Eastside Pies?
And I met the guy, and I'm out there like getting the pizza, signing the credit card receipt, and there's a fucking bird on the top of stage 5, literally like right at the peak where the roof comes up to its highest point. It's looking down at me. It's got some shit in its mouth, and it's just screaming at me. I'm like, what the fuck is this bird's problem?
Little animals hate you.
It is screaming. I
Why
can't.
you're
I
not-
don't know why
Look.
it could make a noise that loud and keep the shit in its mouth at the same time.
As
It's
a
like, how
human-
are you not having to open your mouth to make this noise?
As a human, you can never be allowed. You can never be mad at nature.
I can be mad at nature all the time.
Why?
We got a lot of rules for humans today.
Have you
I can't
met
eat
Gus?
myself in half, and I can't be
You
mad
can't
at
eat yourself.
nature.
Well, it's
You can't
not-
eat yourself in half a lot.
A lot.
Why can't I be mad at nature?
Because it's nature.
Fuck nature.
No, that's not true. I'm with Gus because if you get, listen, we have to protect the environment. But if you gave, like, I don't know, like a meerkat the choice, hey, do you want to let
Meerkat.
a meerkat? If you want to let lions go extinct, they'd be like, fuck yeah, let's do
Meerkat
that.
is pungent.
It's like, what about tigers? How about they go extinct? Meerkat's like, fucking everything, go extinct. What do I give a shit? Every animal would vote every other animal out of existence if they could. You
Yeah.
know they would.
Racist.
Well, that's why I'm okay with letting animals go extinct. Don't waste the money on trying to save them.
So you're okay with that, but I say fuck nature and you get mad at me?
But that's nature.
Because you're annoyed with the existing nature. Look, an animal going extinct is nature.
No, it's wait a minute.
What are you saying? You're contradicting yourself.
Yeah. So do you think a human is like outside of nature?
It is now.
It is now. So
As soon
humans
as
are one thing
As
and
soon as technology happened, like a computer and that,
technology happened. What do you think was the first technology? Like
like a wheel or something.
that's it. So that's technology started.
Well, I mean, an animal never invented a wheel.
Well, a fire.
Yeah, or so
Oh
you
no, they
think.
can make balls, can't they?
Yeah.
Birds and that.
Did you see that video of that? Was it a?
Dung beetles made a wheel.
Listen, we said before on the podcast long ago that I would fight any animal. Like I feel like I could take it on. I would like even a shark in water. I feel like
What about an
How?
octopus?
Honestly, how?
I got a
What
shot.
if
I got
Bruce
a
is
shot.
in your face?
I'm not saying I could kill it. I'm not gonna kill a shark in water, but I keep it from killing me. That's the main thing.
How?
Right? I
What
just do
if
it.
James Bond
hit on
is
the
in your
nose?
face?
Shark's nose is very sensitive.
You can't hit underwater.
One thing I
You
would
hit-
do-
You hit like this fast.
I would never, ever, ever, ever fight an octopus. That's to me, an octopus is so weird.
Octopus don't get that huge though,
You're talking
right?
about
They
giant
do.
squid.
Oh, you giant squid.
Giant squid, yeah, those.
It's the beak that's like awful. That's like the only hard part of the octopus. An octopus can go through any hole that its beak can fit through. They can. What are you talking about?
That's crazy. Like imagine you go through any hole that your nose could fit through.
I
So
wouldn't
like
be able to get through very small.
this,
I was gonna
this
say, there's not very
corridor,
many
this
holes.
entry right here, you could get through.
They say the same thing about cats. If a cat can get its head through something, it can get its whole body through.
No, it's whiskers.
Whiskers. That's part of the head.
It's like, yeah, it's a head
Whiskers
extension.
are wider than the head.
I know, you're right. I knew it was something like that, but it's like, yeah. If a
That's
cat
what
gets,
whiskers are for in a cat.
Oh, I thought you meant just like the tiny whiskers, like I get you through.
yeah, if it can fit its whiskers to a pencil hole, then it can go through that.
It's like me. If I fit my fucking beard stubble through a hole, I'm set. I'm golden.
Yeah, is it true if you cut a cat's whiskers, they don't grow back?
Don't stop cutting whiskers off cats. Oh no.
No, fuck nature.
Well,
Fuck,
cats-
fuck
Cutting
whiskers.
worms in half, cutting whiskers off cats. Let's just leave it.
A lot.
Can't do that. I'm gonna read this real quick though. Saudi prince has poached over 2,100 internationally protected Hubara bustards. It's a bird. That's a bird
a
right
bustard?
there. Hubara bustards.
Hubara
In a 21-day hunting safari in Balochistan. Anybody know where Balochistan
No.
is?
So he killed 2,100 in 20 days? That's 100 a day?
Yeah, he was a dick.
What did they do to him?
I'm guessing they find him some amount of money that he doesn't care about.
No. What did those birds do
Oh,
to him?
they probably
What is
yelled
it?
at him
It's
from the roof.
I'm going to
probably-
kill 2,100 of
Probably the
those.
sigil of someone else's house or something.
This is Game of Thrones.
The total bustards hunted by Prince
Busters.
Fahd bin Abdul.
That bird's a bustard.
You gotta hear this name.
Sounds like it.
It's like
Prince-
Buster and Bastard in
His
one
name
word.
is Prince Fahd bin Abdul Sultan bin Abdul Aziz Al Saad. 1,977 birds is what he killed himself, and then his local representatives
he-
killed 123.
Does he just not like those birds? What's going
What the fuck
on?
do with a machine gun? He's
Yeah.
out there.
It's like fishing with dynamite.
First of all, if something is protected and endangered, and you can find 2,100 of them in 21 days,
yeah.
get them off the list.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like
Maybe
2,100.
now they're endangered.
Also,
Maybe
do you think
the
he's like?
majority of
Do you
them.
think he's bragging? He killed like 1927 or whatever, and the rest of the dudes he was with killed like 180.
Yeah,
It's like, how is it this one dude killed almost 2,000 of them, and everyone else is like, oh yeah, they killed a few.
shooting hand grenades.
Do you think you know how some like the worst thing you can do as a guy is say that you don't like dogs
No.
because girls just like dogs by nature.
I don't think
and-
that's a bad thing to say. Well, it
No.
depends. I don't
well,
know.
Why
it's
dogs?
advised against telling a girl that you don't like dogs.
Because they equate that to kids, which I think is probably a worse thing to say. Like, I hate
Ah.
children.
I
Do you
hate
think
children.
you would ever get laid again if you said I went on vacation and I killed 1,000 tigers?
I don't think you would, no.
I think you would.
I'm sure you would.
Unless you gave somebody a tiger coat. That would be pretty cool.
Also, the fact that you killed 1,000 tigers. That's manly as fuck.
Oh, is it?
So you're into that?
Yeah.
If some dude at a bar was like, "Hey, check this out! I just killed 1,000
Most people
tigers."
have never seen a tiger. Hey, I went on holiday. I killed 1,000 tigers.
Well, first of all, I know that they'd be bullshitting.
I don't know how they killed the tigers.
No, they're not. What if he's got a picture, 1,000
Strangled it.
pictures of him with tigers? Like, there's 1, 2, and all of them, 1,000.
Yeah, my pants are off.
So that's all it takes.
prove
1,000
my point
tigers.
at all.
There's your mission.
Yeah, your point got disproven.
I'm not a very typical lady, though. So
It's true, you're not.
no, I'm not very classy. So
How many
very
tigers are left in the world? Let's find out. This is a stat that's gonna.
I gotta know. Are there 1,000?
Oh man, I saw a terrible documentary the other day.
Fuck the internet. I hate looking stuff up on the internet sometimes. I get to one of those goddamn ask answer
Oh,
sites,
God.
and it's like, how many tigers are left in the world? The first answer is, I don't know, man. Why do you answer the question? It is not mandatory to answer the question. I don't understand that. That is the one thing, honestly, that worries me the most about alien ship showing up on Earth, is that if an alien showed up here on Earth, I would not want them to see the way that we interact with every other species on Earth.
Well, they wouldn't see the same way.
What does that mean?
What makes you think an alien could see?
Because I can see.
With vision.
Because
Like,
everything on our planet can see, so I'm just using it as a frame of
If they
reference.
interpret the data they receive about our treatment of animals, is that a more safe
But it
statement
wouldn't-
to make?
No, it wouldn't matter though.
Okay.
It's like if a lion, like they're saying, if a lion
If
could
their
talk,
sense of morality is offended by our sense
Do
of
you-
kindness,
Instead of us trying to get what you're saying, do you get what I'm saying? How about that? Do you get what I'm saying?
yeah, but it's irrelevant because they wouldn't see the same way.
You don't think they might not? They might not. They could see exactly the same way. They could see exactly
Well,
the same
like
way.
an alien would have human eyes.
Yeah, exactly.
A
And they look
bat
just like
doesn't
humans.
see the same way as we do. What do you think an alien would?
Maybe they're what planted life on this planet.
Maybe they would see even better than we do.
a lot of animals on this planet see like we do.
Also, it's
What's
like
that, Gavin?
the same way where they say if a lion could talk English, you wouldn't understand it.
You know what I'm
You know
saying?
the old saying. My grandmother used to tell me that all the time when I was a little kid. If a lion could talk English, you wouldn't be able to understand it.
I think the correct saying is
we all
if
grew up with that.
if a lion could talk English, then you wouldn't understand it.
Like,
The old saying.
yeah, it's like a famous quote, isn't it?
It is.
Like, a lion-
It's the motto for the San Antonio Zoo. Believe it or not.
I think it's printed on a plaque outside the UN headquarters, right, in New York. If a lion could talk English, you couldn't understand it.
That's what Teddy Roosevelt would yell every time he went to battle.
If a lion could talk.
You watch, we're gonna look like assholes. This is actually gonna be a famous quote.
It probably is.
Uberfax is gonna tweet it tonight, and then we're gonna get it fucking
75%
sent to us.
75% of the time we make fun of Gavin.
Look it
wrong.
up. Look it up. If lions could talk
Let's
English.
something well good as well.
This is our this will be we haven't done a Gavin or Google. We'll done a Gavin or Google in a long time.
Socrates.
Albert, like, if
Did
a lion,
Socrates know what a lion was? Like
Who wouldn't know what a lion was?
some dude
first
living
thought
in.
complete. If a lion
could
could talk.
talk.
All right, if a lion could talk, we wouldn't be able to understand it. It is an actual thing in Google. It is a philosophical investigation. All right,
Suck it.
here's all I want to know. Here's all I want to know. Where did you hear that?
I'm going to give my sources. Do you think I want you delving into my subjects before I've brought them up? It's all about timing, all right?
It's all about. You make it look easy,
They're all up
Gavin.
here, and then it's a slow
He
release.
sensed it was time.
It might be 2 or 3 podcasts till I unleash another one on it.
All right, point to Gavin again. We're gonna actually.
Who said it?
It's a rare occasion. Who said it? Do you know?
Don't know.
God, I just want to know. I'm gonna find out where you found this information out, and you fucking spring this shit on it.
Find out afterwards.
Ludwig Wittgenstein. I'm just gonna guess that is a
Yeah.
correct pronunciation of that.
Most
Morgan
I
Heckengord.
almost mispronounced pronunciation. Ludwig Wittgenstein.
Promunction.
It's from the book Philosophical Investigations, highly influential work of the 20th century by philosopher Ludwig Wittgenstein. In it, Wittgenstein discusses numerous problems and puzzles in the fields of semantics, logic, that's right up your alley, philosophy of mathematics, philosophy of psychology, philosophy of action, and philosophy of the mind. And he talks about if lions could speak, we could not understand them. The common saying. I don't know if it's a common saying, but it was said by some dude in a book.
My
people know
my
about
grandmother said it all the time. Too.
What does it mean?
I can't tell if you're being
does it
sarcastic.
mean?
Oh God, no.
Just like the style of life is so different. Like you would have completely different values.
Like if I
Nothing-
talked to an
nothing
Eskimo,
would
it would all be like, he'd want to know about
yeah,
my ice.
Nothing would be relatable. You wouldn't
Like-
be able to relate to a lion on any form, apart from let's not get killed.
Eating?
No.
No. Why not?
Because we don't eat the same way a lion does.
But
It's like,
the-
oh,
I,
look,
I do.
that thing walking over there looks delicious. You don't do that.
I, like
I
your
do that.
interpretation
I
of how
see
life-
We wouldn't be
hamburger
able to
sitting there?
communicate on that level with it. Like I think if we met a human from a like one of these untouched. I read a horrible thing too about the untouched tribes. That
Oh.
once we come in contact with them, like 95% of them are just decimated.
So
dead
what made
within
me-
6
Well, it's what
months.
happens with Americans.
What
isn't
that
it?
made me think about. Sorry, shut up. I want to think. I want to go on and
Sorry,
branch off of
shut
this.
up.
So that made me
got
think about
real.
something. If benevolent aliens
Benevolent aliens,
showed up tomorrow,
like
On the-
Canadians.
what's that?
Sorry, go ahead.
No, benevolent,
What'd you
like
say?
kind aliens show up to help us tomorrow, 95% of humanity would die.
Probably, or the aliens would die.
Right. It's like there's a no-win scenario there. Even if they want to help us and be good, either we get wiped out or they get wiped out.
Well, we're too advanced. We're too easily insulted.
We're too advanced for a species
We're too
that
easily
has traveled
Yeah.
between planets.
like they would do something. We would see it as like, oh, I don't like where this is going.
Yeah, we would totally win that.
Yeah, well, you know.
Well, why do you assume they have
We do in
better
the
guns
movies.
than we do?
All right, if aliens invaded Earth, America would kill them.
I don't know about
So
that.
it does make you wonder,
America,
like,
forget.
what is this planet really run by? The majority of the planet is microorganisms. Because even you're just like this disgusting colony of microorganisms.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
Gus
they outnumber everything else on the planet like what?
Right.
A billion to
Even
one?
insects outnumber us like a
Yeah,
crazy
But
number.
we're the perfect size.
How are we the?
We are the
For
perfect
us.
size for us.
No, in relation to water.
Go on.
Well, like, if we were really small, a cup of water would be like just one drip, and you could just be like, it would just be like this big, wouldn't it? But if we were a whale,
Yeah.
water would be smaller.
Go on. So, what advantage do we have being the correct proportionate size to water as opposed to a whale?
No, listen. Everybody who watches the podcast says Gavin always has brilliant ideas. He just can't explain them well. I want to know what that specifically means.
That's what I'm pursuing.
For a whale,
What advantage do we have versus a whale?
Well, think about it like
given
this:
our size? Okay, a
Water
whale.
would
the
be
blue
smaller.
whale, the blue whale is the biggest, right? The biggest thing, not only that is alive today, but
Ever.
that ever lived.
yeah.
Why is there nothing bigger? Because water would be too small.
For what?
No, but what I asked was, what advantage do we have because water is the correct size
Water
for
is
us?
the-
Wouldn't something smaller than us have the biggest waters?
What?
Right. No, I go what you're saying.
So
Like,
if I was half my
wa-
size, water would be enormous.
It would be twice the size.
It's
Right.
way more. You don't have to worry about it. You need less of it.
Like double as much.
Well,
Right.
If you were really small, you could drown really easily
In what? Water?
in a globule.
What if I'm so small that I don't drown in water, but the molecules are the same size as me, so I just bump into them? Like,
Yeah,
excuse
like
me.
you have
Like
such
an
light
ant.
surface tension that you just like
How
walk
big
on
do
it.
you think a molecule is an ant?
No, like an ant could have a globule that could get stuck in it.
How do you find a globule? You don't think there's a globule of water big enough for me?
Like water will be in globules.
We're talking about
and-
the scientific definition of a globule.
globule.
No, water will be different sized globules until it is too big to be a globule,
And then it
it will
becomes
flow.
what?
It will just be two, or it will drip away and become a small one.
So okay, so
Like,
in
it's
the science book it
critical
says
mass of
water is a globule until it is two or it drips away.
He's talking about a freestanding drop of water where the
Like,
surface tension of water.
how big can one glob of water be?
A globule. I'm answering your question. You said how big can a glob of water be? A globule.
Have you ever seen a sphere of water that you can hold that's this big? No, because it would just be like.
Okay.
But
So-
don't you think ant has more convenience because they can carry water that is held together with nothing more than surface tension?
Yeah, but we're bigger than it.
Right?
What?
But isn't that an advantage, being able to carry water?
It's an ant
Without,
advantage.
we would never need.
Imagine if you could just hold like a beer that was a globule of beer. You're like,
Oh my god, think about that. If you could hold in your hands a sphere of beer with no cup and you just like out of the middle of it, you would love that. That's an advantage an ant has over us. So you say we're the perfect size. Ants are arguably more
But
perfect
the
size.
people eat ants? Like birds eat them.
You're changing the subject.
No. He's talking about the different advantages of being
We're
different
talking about the
sizes.
advantages in relation to water and liquids.
So you think the main advantage that humans have where we dominate the planet is that we're the perfect size?
Yeah.
It's not intellect or anything. Like if we were 10 feet tall, 30 feet tall like
Well,
a giraffe.
a blue whale has a bigger brain than a human. Doesn't
Right?
make it smarter though.
Nope,
Well,
it
brain
doesn't.
size doesn't correlate with intelligence.
Because of the size of the water, though. If you think about it,
Okay.
relative,
I got you.
relativistically.
We are the perfect size for water.
Size is important. You think size?